Alright, so I know this is getting ridiculous in terms of all the clips that I've uploaded recently where I've got post-commentary explaining why I don't have any regular live commentary, but this particular footage should have been a base tour that I would have uploaded ages ago, several wipes ago, months ago at this point, if it weren't for the fact that my live commentary didn't go through when I was filming. For some weird reason. Once again, I have no idea why, but it serves as a great example as to why you should always do a test recording before you start your footage in any circumstance to make sure you don't miss out on anything. And that is something that could happen to any of us. I mean, I've seen some of the, quote-unquote pros who do this type of stuff mentioning different scenarios where that kind of thing has happened. So, it happens, we deal with it, we move on. Because of the fact that this should have been a base tour where I had all kinds of intricate, in-the-moment explanations of the different aspects of the base and all kinds of stuff like that, which I really couldn't replicate in post-commentary form, I figured what I'll do is I'll just let the footage play out. You can just see everything for yourself, and I will give you an update into my personal life while that footage is playing out. Now, if you care at all about some of the crazy stuff that's been happening behind the scenes, which it is pretty crazy, then you'll probably like this, especially if you've been wanting to maybe get to know me a little bit more personally in terms of who I am outside of YouTube and stuff like that. Now, just to give you a brief explanation of what you were looking at, you can tell that this is a multi-compound base design where there's even a security bridge that goes from one section to the other, which would be useful in the case that your front gates are blocked off or there's people sieging you and you need to get over to that section to get to the watchtower to shoot at them, etc., etc. Now, of course, we've got a multi-compound design which has got a cave in one section that was sealed off. That is in the area with the watchtower. And then the security bridge leads over into this main compound area where we've got all our furnaces, our industry, all of that stuff, including the loot room and basically the main room of the base, or the main tower of the base, so to speak. And this is definitely not one of the most impressive bases that I feel that we've ever done. Really, I can't even take much credit for it myself because this was a scenario where the server wiped. I joined like a week or two after it wiped, and Cheddar and Bilko had basically already built all of this before I even showed up. So I can't take credit for it. However, I did add a bunch of extra layers of these gates and these stone walls and stuff that you're seeing in here. So I did help design and build it, and I also helped fill it up with loot. So when you do get to see the loot rooms and stuff like that, there's definitely some impressive amounts of stuff here. Now, I was recording this a few hours before the server wipe, and I was the only one on the server because I pulled that cheeky little trick where you force your game to not update, and then as long as the server doesn't update for X amount of time, you can play on the server when no one else can, if that makes any sense. I'm not really going to explain that in any more detail. It seems pretty self-explanatory to me, but I figure we might as well get on to the juicy good bits in terms of the ridiculous stuff that's been happening in my life recently. So, to start out, I want to let you know that I have not been living in my normal home, or at least the place that I was renting for the past several months. Because of the fact that our house had a screwed up roof, or let me rephrase that, the entire duplex of 2 3-story buildings, one of the garages of which had a small room that I was renting out, which didn't even have its own bathroom or kitchen or anything, so you can imagine how convenient that was for me. Far from ideal having to share bathrooms and kitchens with people, but it was all I could afford for the time being. I have been unable to live in that place for several months now based on the fact that there's a ton of water damage that was done, and the whole place was actually infected with mold because the roof was faulty, which allowed a ton of water to seep in, and it was so bad that there was literally like standing pools of water in the ceiling just below the roof on the top story. Now keep in mind, this building is 3 stories, so my garage room is 2 stories below the roof essentially, and even in there was, a certain degree of water damage in my ceiling, which basically meant that they had to gut that entire section of ceiling and my walls and go in there with drying machines and stuff and get rid of all the mold that was accumulated. And like, it literally took several weeks of having these machines in there that were blowing hot air onto the ceiling and walls to completely dry it out and clean it up. So it was pretty much a big ordeal. It's sort of an insurance scandal because there's all like different insurance companies involved, because there's a homeowners association, and then there's the builder who is like the chief of the homeowners association, although he's got a property manager who like also calls certain shots in the property. And it's just like this really complicated quagmire of different settlement claims and stuff like that. But the good part is that I am super lucky in the sense that I was covered in the insurance that was taken out for the duplex that I lived in, or that half of the duplex that I lived in. So I've been covered under that insurance for some time now, and I've just been hopping around to different hotels. So for about a month, the past month, I lived in a Marriott Residence Inn. It was just like a studio room where I had my own kitchen and bathroom, thank God. That is something that is such a blessing after living for so many months without it and having to share that with other people. But that got old after a while because my internet was so crappy. I had to go off of the wireless, the building's wireless, instead of, being able to have a direct connection with an Ethernet cable. And that prevented me from even playing Rust for solid amounts of time because of the fact that I would get randomly and sometimes really frequently timed out from the server that I was playing on, or timed out from I Killed Don Broach. Whatever I was doing at that current point in time was jeopardized based on the crappy internet that I had. And that was like a month. So basically the past month that I've been trying to get stuff uploaded, trying to film more shit, I couldn't even really play Rust solidly because of that crappy internet, and there was just no alternatives in that place while I was living there. I'm not living in that particular place anymore, so that is no longer an issue. I am now living in a timeshare, which is this weird thing that we organized with, like, my grandmother has a timeshare in Oregon, and, you can, like, trade weeks back and forth and stuff. So, like, she let me use a bunch of her weeks that I traded to stay in this place that I'm at now. And, like, it ended up being cheaper to get, like, a 2-bedroom, but, like, a 2-bedroom is actually, like, 2 apartments connected. It's really weird. Like, I'm living in a freaking mansion right now, and it's all to me. Like, I have this entire freaking place to myself. It's huge. I've got 2 kitchens, 2 sets of washer and dryers, 2 refrigerators, like 2 of everything. And it's just kind of blowing my mind because this is, like, cheaper than renting a 2-bedroom apartment like anywhere in my hometown. I'm staying in the town that's like just over from my hometown. It's where my dad lives, and there's really not a lot going on here. It's a pretty dismal town, to be honest. But I do have the opportunity to like get outside, more with my dad and like go fishing, do some shooting with his Glock, and stuff like that. So I'll definitely try and post some like in real life video clips, maybe in the next subscriber special of like, target practice and fishing and stuff like that, just to give you like, a little taste of the outdoor stuff that I have available in my state, because I do like getting outdoors. I do like, hiking and doing stuff like that. It's just hard sometimes to find the time because, I spend so much time indoors just doing my job, because this really is like a job for me at this point. I'm going full force with it. Doing my best to try and not go more than like 2 days, without uploading something, even though that can be really difficult when I'm moving around constantly, to different hotels to stay in while my house is being fixed by insurance. And then by the time my house is fixed, I don't plan on actually living there anymore. I do want to move out because obviously I don't want to live in a studio room where I don't even have my own kitchen and I don't even have my own bathroom. It's really not ideal, and considering I was making, much less money even when I was working a regular job and doing YouTube at the same time, while I was living in that little studio room, I actually have a lot more flexibility now, and I want to just reiterate the fact that that is basically because of you right now. You who are watching this, stomaching through my ridiculous post-commentary, long-winded explanations of everything. I don't know if you really enjoy it. I'm hoping that you would enjoy it, if you've stuck through it until this point. But anyways, you are feeding me, you are helping me pay my bills. simply by being entertained by what I make. You know, it's like, it's the most amazing blessing ever, and I don't think I could ever state that enough. Like, every subscriber milestone that we hit, every ounce of popularity this channel gains, it is all on you. It is your playing field, basically. It is your win. Every time that we hit, you know, a milestone or we do something insane on the channel, it is mostly you guys. I would be nothing without those of you who care enough to, you know, want to know what I'm doing or want to see what I'm doing. So I really, really appreciate that. You've started to help change my life, and, you know, things are still ugly behind the scenes here. Not everything is perfect. I've got plenty of issues that I still need to address and deal with, you know, personally and financially. But we are paving the way to an amazing future, and all I can really hope is that every single one of you that's helped me along the way will be successful in everything that you do in life and every dream that you're pursuing. And all I can really tell you is, if you fail, keep trying. That's all you can do, is keep trying. That's exactly what I've done, and I've actually started to get a bit of success going out of it. So, you know, once again, it's your win. Could never do it without you. Thank you so much. I really wish you all the best of luck. So I guess we might as well move on to a little bit more about, like, what I'm going to be doing in the future. I am going to Europe on the 12th of May. I am leaving for Dublin on the 12th of May, and I'm trying to visit the Smoking Cheddar over in Britain by the 21st of May on that weekend. So I'm going to do my best to have some funny vlog, you know, drunk vlogging crap with him or whatever. Really looking forward to meeting him in person, because he's, you know, become a really solid friend just over the internet and stuff like that. And, you know, who doesn't want to meet some of their best friends in person? I mean, it used to be that you would meet someone in person, and then it's more likely that in the future you end up, you know, talking online because they move away and stuff like that. That's primarily the reason I even have a Facebook. I've got like 36 friends, all of them I know in person for the most part. So I know that's kind of a weird tangent to go off on, but basically I'm trying to stockpile as much footage as I possibly can in the next 20 days that I have before I leave for England and Ireland. And I'm going to be over there for possibly 3 weeks, maybe even a month. We're looking at property. My mom and I are going to go around and look at property in Ireland to try and find a place that I could, like, move into and live for a while, and at the same time go to school for computer forensics, because there is a program in Ireland that I can take for free. I really hope that I can find a way to stay active enough while I'm on vacation, essentially, in Ireland. I'm going to have my laptop with me, which means I won't be able to record Rust, but I will be able to record probably stuff like Hurt World and some other games. So I'm going to do my best to take the opportunities that I have, you know, when I have them, to get some more stuff created while I'm on the road. But of course, I'm going to try and stockpile as much footage as freaking possible up until that point. So please bear with me. I hope this gave you more insight as to why my life's been a little bit sporadic and crazy recently. That's part of the reason there's been, you know, certain weeks and certain days that I have done nothing at all. Partially because some of those days I had to just move from one hotel to another, and I've kind of got like a big studio, you know, treasure trove full of stuff. So it takes a while to set it up. It takes a while to transport it. It's exhausting. And some days I just, like, really can't function correctly enough to get a video done. You know, I'm working on that. I'm trying to do, like, at least one video every day. Try and step that up to 2 or 3 every day. But because of the way I make my content and because of the internet connection that I've been dealing with in my state, it's been getting progressively worse in my state for some reason. Our internet is worse than it used to be in terms of upload and stuff like that. So it just takes a lot longer to produce the content. Like, if I had fiber optic internet, I would be able to easily do 3 videos every day. The primary amount of time that would be taken would be editing and rendering, which really does take a long time which really does take a long time in and of itself. Yada yada yada. I'm sure you're bored at this point. So anyways, yeah, I hope that provided more insight for you. Once again, thank you so much for watching this video. I love you guys. I am just thrilled to see that we're finally starting to get things rolling and we're starting to kind of make a dent in the YouTube world. So stay gold, keep doing what you're doing. I'll do my best to provide you with some of the best quality content I possibly can. And I'm going to be working hard to try and start branching out to other things that you will find interesting that I can also do besides Rust. Because obviously, if I only focus on Rust, I will eventually become irrelevant. And that's what I'm really trying to avoid. I am trying to get to 1 million subs. I am trying to become one of the top, fastest growing YouTubers out there. It may never happen, but with your help, I feel anything is possible. So please bear with me. Give me all your honest feedback. Let me know, different games that you could really enjoy me playing through that I can do besides Rust, etc., etc. Stay tuned. I've got a lot of stuff planned and in the works. I've got the next subscriber special coming soon. It's going to be a really big project with all kinds of, added goodies for you guys. So, thanks for watching. Peace out.